Hey everybody, this is Brisket here with Role Playing Public Radio. It is another episode of Drow and Dracoliches. I think this is finally episode 6. I mistakenly called last week's episode episode 6 or episode 5. I don't remember anymore. That was a long time ago. You shouldn't think about it. Today I am joined again by all three of our favorite players. We have Faye, her playing Rushk, our normal doctor. Nothing wrong with her. Nothing shady going on at all. We have Rachel, also her playing our Warlock, Daelia and Valsa, who is also, again, nothing shady up with her. Totally normal, above board. Also not constantly getting involved in schemes which are not good or healthy for her. And lastly, we have Winter, her playing Xastra Telarr, a silver-haired knight, a paladin of Eilistraee, who is surprisingly the most normal and neurotypical person in the party.
He's really got it together.
It's a little sad, I think, but you know what? It's the thought that counts. To redo the conceit, just in case you, for some reason, you joined on episode 6 instead of listening to the first 5 episodes, we were playing Dungeons and Dragons without actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're just messing around in Fate using statistics that I make up on the spot. And we're messing around in Toril, in Faerun, because that's my favorite setting. I think once you get all the drizzits out of it, it's actually pretty interesting. And so we're involved in various shenaniganry involving dead gods and would-be gods and soon living gods. So, yeah, can somebody remind me what happened last week so we can move forward?
All right. It falls to me. So, last week, we finally set out on our journey to help poor Toril bail out all of the water and fix the hole in the fucking ocean floor. We brought along Vajra Blackstaff, I think is her name, and Shiria, the little bit ditzy priestess. We made it to Daggerford without much issue. However, when we got to Daggerford, there was much issue. We stopped at an inn just for some, information on the town, and right away noticed that there seemed to be some sort of pandemic occurring. Following that, we learned that there were a shitload of, what are they called? Flaming
Fist.
Flaming Fist, thank you. Flaming Fist mercenaries who showed up, in droves, hundreds of them, and just kind of occupied the farmstead there, and are digging up the grounds and collecting all of the fucking vegetables, which are rotting, by the way, which we believe is probably because there's a big dude that's hanging out named Myrkul, right? Is it Myrkul? Jurgle? All right. We met with Mrs. Daggerford, I think. Is she married?
She's like Baroness Daggerford, I believe.
Baroness. All right. We met with Baroness Daggerford, and ink beeped, which means that something was up with her. Let's see, what else did we do? We spoke with her, and then briefly made plans to meet with the so-called Myrkul that's hanging around here, which I'm sure will go completely fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So Myrkul is somewhere around Daggerford. We know that Myrkul allegedly is interested in the corpse of the dead god that, again, is rotting off the coasts of Daggerford. It's a little bit of travel down the river. Since it's on a river and you can use a boat, it is not that long by boat. It's like half a day. If you had to walk it, it would be a couple of days. So ideally, you can find a boat. Otherwise, yeah, people who know how to find evil gods, your abilities would probably be useful. Otherwise, you can do whatever you want. Nyara is still hanging out with his guards. They're in a little camp outside of town. I believe you said it would be better if you quarantine, so nobody has looked for rooms at the couple of inns in Daggerford.
Yes. Yeah. So I kind of have designs. I'm not quite sure how I want to accomplish them just yet, but I do know that I want to speak with Tall Tree, who I think is the head of Niara's guards, right?
Yes, Taltree Duskgrin.
Tall Tree Duskgrin. All right.
Also,
I don't want to... Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know if I'm misremembering or not, but I feel like I remember last session that we, like, ended it with a nice little cliffhanger about meeting with the death god, like, just dropping it on the Baroness. I don't know if I'm misremembering that or not.
Yeah, she said if you can meet with him and clear him out of there, she'll make sure you get a boat.
Cool.
Okay. So unless anybody would like to go first, I want to talk to Tall Tree.
Go for it.
I have no objections.
All right. So wherever they're at, I want to just bring myself over and kind of flag her down.
Taltree and Shiria are checking over the supplies that your little group has. Since the two of them are divine spellcasters, they also have access to the same purification abilities. So they've been using them to protect the goods in your crate. So Taltree has a mask on, and she's sort of dealing with things. You are very attuned to people who are very serious kind of people. You startle her a little bit because you are not exactly the loudest person when walking around, but she makes nobody else would know that you had snuck up on her. And
I don't point out the surprise.
She looks over to you and straightens up from what she was doing. She says, yes, Doctor?
So I still have my mask on, but I'm sure it shows through the eyes. I give her a very polite smile. I'm going to be very upfront with Taltree about what I'm doing and what could possibly happen because of it. I feel like it's the only respectable thing to do. I am sure she would not be happy if I sprung a god of the dead on her. So now I do apologize if this is coming out of nowhere, Miss Taltree, but I felt it important to inform you of what's going on here in Daggerford. The residents here believe that the god of the dead has taken up residence somewhere nearby. And on top of that, it seems that there is a mounting force of mercenaries of the Flaming Fist that are growing worryingly large in number. All of that said, things can still get worse. I have plans to meet with the god of the dead, and I wanted to let you know ahead of time and provide necessary medical... What do you call it whenever you do something? I forget what the fucking word is. It's not palliative.
Preventative care?
Preventative, thank you. Do necessary medical preventative care to alleviate any exposure that might come from being in the proximity of the god of death.
Well, Myrkul is a god of undeath. He's like a god of death lackey. So I'm sure that's what you communicated to Taltree. So she's not super thrilled, and you can see it in her. She's normally frowning at you, and it's like considerably worse now. And she said, then it sounds like you should conclude your business quickly so that we can be on our way before anything worse happens.
Yes, of course. However, I also wanted to extend an opportunity to Nyara through you, because this is a very risky thing. I wanted to give you right of first refusal, because I understand that you seem to care a great deal for Nyara. Since myself, Xastra, and Daelia will be meeting with the god of undeath, I think it would be politically useful to Nyara to attend.
Okay. I think it would be interesting if you can try and sway her. So why don't you use your charisma?
All right. Yeah, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
And let's see. That is a 2 + 2.
Okay, that beats her 3.
Ooh.
So yeah, I think that she seems a little bit warmed up to this plan, because you said the word politically useful. She is looking for ways to make Derelift stronger, and so having people in the debt of the Yavel family is always useful. So she mulls it over a little bit, and then says, political ties to powerful figures would certainly go a long way to improving the standing of Derelict. So normally I would throw you into the river for even suggesting such a plan, but in these desperate times, it might be useful to think outside of the box, as it were.
I nod.
Very well, I will make Princess Nyara ready for travel whenever you ascertain Myrkul's location.
Wonderful.
We will go with you.
I appreciate it. And perhaps if it's not too much to ask, Nyara is a wonderful cook. I was hoping that we could impress the god of undeath with some of that fine cooking.
You would have Nyara make a meal?
Is it not proper to come bearing gifts?
She, thinks about it and then clicks her tongue and nods. And is like, yes, this would be very appropriate for Princess Yavail.
I smile. Nod.
So, yeah.
What can I do? So, knowing that moving on from the talking to Taltree to the preventative care, knowing that Myrkul's presence alone is rotting crops and making people sick, what would be proper preventative care? I mean, booster shots, probably, fucking shit that boosts immune systems.
Quarantining, which you're already doing, is good. You're having Shiria and Taltree look at your provisions, so they're preemptively protecting it with divine magic, so that works well. You had everybody mask up, so that'll protect you from most airborne things. So the last thing would probably be making sure that you have a source of water or other liquid you can drink that has already been processed somehow. So either boiling your water before you drink it, or, getting beer or something, some kind of alcohol that is stable and not very high ABV.
All right, sick, yeah.
All of those things are doable.
Having your paladin friend create water.
Having your paladin friend create water also works.
Okay. All right, yeah. I think I'm going to busy myself with that.
The last thing that you know how to do is, since plague is largely the domain of Talona, if you were to get some grain and burn it in a campfire while saying a prayer to Talona, non-infected grain, that would go a long way towards protecting your party specifically.
Okay. Yeah. I think that Rushk will do that.
Talking to Talona like she's like an acquaintance from your college days.
Talona. It's been a while.
So you're in the process of doing that, and you can sense Shiria come up behind you and squat next to you, kneel down next to you by the fire. And she puts an arm around your waist and she says, "It's very surprising to see you in prayer."
Not so much prayer as a plea.
This is a good way to make a girl jealous.
Oh, well then would you protect us in her stead?
Are you trying to wring a favor out of me?
Not at all.
You know what, Rushk? It's that enterprising spark that makes me appreciate what we have.
Appreciate, is that the word?
Gosh, what would she say? She just kind of smiles at you, I think, because I don't think she's going to take the bait. This is a little dance that the two of you do.
Yep. I assume that it is nighttime then?
It's getting a little bit on in the day, so it's more the afternoon.
Okay.
Plus, campfires cast shadows.
That is true. Surprised you're out so early. I thought you were a late sleeper.
I mean, I don't need to be out in the middle of the night. Darkness is everywhere at all times.
True, but you like your privacy.
True, but when I see my favorite girl bend the knee, I can't help myself. Besides, everyone else is invested in their little chores and plans and things, so they won't notice us.
I think Rushk just laughs and continues the prayer to Talona.
I think Shiria stays with you for a little bit. And then she stands up abruptly, looks very confused at what she was doing, and says, it's you. I'm sorry, I I don't know. Was I helping you with something?
Oh, yes, you just had a bit of a slip. Don't worry. I helped catch you before you fell.
That's very polite or very helpful of you. Thank you so much. I haven't been traveling in a very long time, so these old roads,
Trust me, I know. It is quite exhaustive.
Well, I think Miss Taltree needs me, so it was nice talking to you.
And you too, Shiria.
So what is everybody else doing? Let's start with Daelia. What are you up to?
Nothing specific I can think of, just generally maybe trying to do literally just trying to be helpful, sort of standing there without. If someone looks like they need help, she'll probably go and do that.
Okay.
Tasks. I have tasks.
If you have tasks, happy to help.
Crack that whip. All right. So I think Rushk would task you with sniffing out Myrkul. I think Rushk would come to you, probably, as you're lingering around anybody that looks like they need help.
Cool.
Daelia, may I ask something of you? My claim that Myrkul would want to speak with me was very bold, yes, but I don't have an invitation. Would you be able to locate the interloper, as it were?
Of course, I will do my best to see what we can find around here.
Thank you, Daelia. She'll touch your arm. I can always count on you.
Oh, just doing my best.
Appreciate it.
She's blushing, looks away. Ink, shall we? Let's go find this undead god. Yeah. So yeah, she'll just start from the outside of the town and just do like a circle, like going inwards until ink starts beeping in particular. So I remember the castle in particular was where she was starting to get signals coming up.
So, you're an arcane caster, so you have access to various magics. And while you probably don't have a whole lot of divination stuff, finding a big scary thing near you is not out of the realm of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. Especially since we know that ink can detect bounded fields. So it's not a whole lot of wandering. You start at the castle and you kind of work your way out from there. And then, ink points you in a direction. Down by an area that is right by where they house most of the boats. Because right along the river in sort of the town, they have like a little like port-esque setup. I don't know if you've ever seen like a canal that runs through a city and they have like the little half docks.
Little toll booth, sort of, yeah.
From somewhere over there, you're getting the impression that there's something down there somewhere, either like on the docks or in a building near the docks. And seeing as it's the god of undeath, probably not hanging out in the sunshine. So a building with a cellar near there. Very likely candidate.
Okay. I think she'll try and press forward and see if she can't find exactly where this is.
Okay. There's a shipping building, like a Teamster's place. It's where you take goods off the boat or put them on the boat. And they also have chilled storage. They have a very large basement that's cut into the ground.
Okay.
Because people don't have freezers and shit.
Yeah.
And it's very faint, and right when you get to the threshold of the building, like without going inside, like suddenly like the aura is overwhelming.
Like, boom. All right.
It's just a sense of like doom and like it's very much a horror movie. If I go down these stairs, I will die kind of feeling.
Are you sure you want to proceed? There is no point this is the point of return. Save your game.
Daylight savings has hit right now, right here.
So if it's not Myrkul down there, it's something extremely unpleasant.
Something really bad is down there. Okay. Cool. Then she will take that back to the campsite.
So that leaves us with Xastra. Xastra, what are you up to?
Yes. Generally, probably just helping people who seem like they need help. But the other thing that I really would like to do is cast the spell Protection from Evil.
Okay. That seems like it would be somewhat useful. Maybe. Who knows?
Eventually.
Let's go ahead and have you roll some charisma. Let's see how effective this is for later. This is going to be, I assume, create an advantage.
This, I got a 5.
Yeah.
5 is great. Remember that number for later. So you have the protection from evil aspect, temporary aspect. If you need to invoke that at some point, there you go. I'll let you have the 2 free invocations of it. And of course, you can hand those invocations to your party if protection from evil matters in the next couple scenes.
Yes.
If it does, who's to say?
Just say.
Who's to say?
We'll see.
Possibly imagine it coming in handy. Otherwise, I am just looking for things to do to help.
Okay. So there's more or less like physical work to do. You can also spread Rushk's instructions to like mask up and stay away from each other. You can pop by the clothier and teach them how to make face coverings, but most people have them just in general as part of their like, you know, like seasonal wear, because like it gets really fucking cold sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still in the fairly northern part of the Sword Coast. It's not until you get down towards Baldur's Gate where they have the more milder winters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the extreme winters as you go north of Waterdeep.
I think it is important to note that, well, she does not require a mask because she is immune to all diseases. She is still wearing one.
She's leading by example. That's very
Yes.
important.
Important. Very important.
Yeah, so you all know, so Nyara is busy for the rest of the afternoon until the evening. This is like later on in the evening. He has made some bread, put together some kind of spiced wine. The only thing you know about it is that it has local to Dereleft spicing in it.
Ooh.
So it will probably taste interesting.
Mhm.
Those of you who have spent any amount of time in Mensa Baranza know that you should not give it to people with weak constitution.
You gotta make cave mushrooms taste interesting somehow.
It's the kind of thing that you water down and give to kids in Mensa Baranza to start getting them immune to poisons.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You get it to
This is
colicky
normal.
babies. So you have all that ready. She's got wine. He's got wine. He's got bread. He's got some kind of skewered meat that looks pretty good.
Okay. I'd say once Nyara's done cooking, that would be a good time to gather up and head towards what Daelia found.
Okay. So let's say it's probably Nyara, Taltree, and then the adventuring party, I assume?
Yes. Yeah, that because we've got Xastra who can do protection from evil and shit, and you said Taltree. Taltree can also do divine stuff. All right, cool. I think that should cover it then.
Can somebody roll your fate dice? Don't add anything to it. Just let me know what number you got.
-3.
Oh my god.
Thanks.
I also just checked. Apparently, I can also do protection from good and evil too. That's on the base
What?
Warlock spell list. Yeah, I know. Don't know why.
Protection
It's
from
there.
me.
Yes.
Probably more protection from good, I
Yeah.
guess.
I don't know. I was surprised
Well, I
to see
guess
it in the
they're-
level 1 spell list. Oh, it's
Protect you
there.
from
They're
other
divine
demons and
warlocks.
stuff. Well, I mean, like if
Yeah.
you have a devil patron, you could get
You
protection
don't want
from
demons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny.
So, man, it sucks that you had winter roll for you because
Yep.
-3 is not particularly useful.
Fucking brutal.
You get the implication that maybe there was something you could have ran into, but you'll discover it later.
It's fine.
Great.
We'll find out later.
You want me to
Great.
spend a fate point to reroll?
Do you want
No,
to?
you-
I'll let you.
You doomed us. No, you have to take the
No,
roll. You
no,
doomed
I'm
us.
asking the other players.
I'm
Do
saying
want
you
me to
doomed
spend a
us.
fate
Take
point
the
to
roll.
reroll?
No,
Okay.
live with your consequences. This is what you get for rolling poorly.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you get to the building and it is very odd. This is the most busiest part of Daggerford, and there is nobody in this building. There are people around it. There are people on the other side of the river. There are people down on the little docks it's near. There is no one in this building. This is
Interesting.
very strange because this place is like swarming with adventurer and scholarly types who are fighting over the boats. And everyone, for some reason, is staying away from the structure and doesn't seem to notice that they are.
Really fast, before we go in, actually, I think Daelia probably would have asked somebody, like, just anyone that looked like they were probably, like, from around here, like a dock worker or something, like, try to get any information out of, like, what the fuck is going on with this building. See if there's some sort of, like, mind, like, wipe about it, or if people, like, know that there's something going on in there, just in case.
Yeah, make an intelligence roll.
Let's see here. Where is... Oh yeah, I just updated that to be a +4. I think. Wait, this isn't my updated PDF. Fuck. Oh, it's somewhere. Rachel. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, that is a +6. Holy shit.
Okay. So yeah, that is an excellent success. So I'll go ahead and give you the information you missed.
Ooh.
The locals are staying away from it because they have seen members of the Flaming Fist go in and out of it. And they have told people that it is closed for some sort of reason, probably something to do with the budding sickness rolling through town. Okay. And since they do have martial authority, like, they are obligated to not pick a fight with people with swords. But you can also tell that there is some kind of... It's that, like... that feeling you had earlier. It's some kind of spell or, like, large area gas that is keeping people from entering the building. So everybody is unconsciously avoiding it, and the people who would otherwise have reason to be in there have been told by the Flaming Fist mercenaries not to enter.
Got it. Okay.
Flaming Fist up to something. No, I knew I was right. Those fuckers. Those fuckers.
So I took a new stunt after the end of last session. Divine Sense. The presence of great good or evil registers on your senses is some kind of pleasant or unpleasant thing. Anything feel weird here?
Oh yeah, like, it's the same thing as when Daelia is here. Like, there's an overwhelming sense
bad.
of it is like someone, like, stepped over your grave. It is like ghosts are giving you an uncomfortable hug.
The vibes are rancid.
The vibes are
okay.
Well, I'll do it.
I suppose it would
Seems
only
like
be
you really
polite
got the
to
right
knock.
place.
If I may request, I'm not quite certain what to expect in meeting this fellow. Any backup would be appreciated.
I could tell you all about him. It's going to cost you, though. It's that annoying voice in the back of your head that keeps telling you to do horrible things.
Okay. Nope. Yeah. Both of you notice Rushk just kind of
dissociate for a second.
Yeah. Pause awkwardly mid-conversation, look far away, and then say, perhaps it would just be best if we proceed.
I mean, we come bearing food, so it can't be that bad.
Yes, I'm sure the gods of undeath are very welcoming. I will, whatever entrance there is, I'll go up to it and knock.
What?
The door swings open.
Oh
right.
No. I think I'll probably just, like, have any kind of, like, spell prepared just in case. Just holding a little
ready to
blast.
loose that fucking lightning bolt.
Yeah, just in case. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Xastra is always ready.
I cast quickened maximized fireball.
Please
Yeah,
don't kill me.
so it opens up into what is otherwise a normal kind of shipping area. This is like a office area, so it leads out in two places. There are doors that will take you down into the cellar area. They are down a set of stairs, and it's a heavy fitted door, so that you don't let air in and out. Or at least not very much, insulated. There we go. That's what I mean. And then there's another door that goes out into the back of the building. It's a very large building, so it's mostly a warehouse-esque space. So there's tools for moving things and places for storing goods that don't need to go down into the freezer.
Okay. So
There's
really
nobody
quick.
here.
Oh, interesting. Really quick. Did Talltree brief Nyara on that this might be terrifying?
You don't know. Maybe, probably.
Okay.
They had dealt with Wolf for generations.
Yeah, that's true. They've lived in the Underdark. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's nobody here, though. We're, like, in this big space and there's fucking nothing.
There's nobody here. There's nobody here in the office. It looks like it hasn't been used in a couple of days. Things were packed up. So whoever came in here to say move out, it wasn't like everybody get out now. It looks like they just closed up shop for the day and never opened up again.
Mm.
Interesting. I'll turn to Daelia. And have I taken a wrong turn somewhere? Is this is the building that you located, yes?
It definitely feels like the building. I guess, like, does it feel better or worse either way, or is it just still the same overwhelming sense of awe?
It feels worse than when you were outside. Being inside the building is much, much worse.
Okay.
And Ink looks around uncomfortable, like he is lost.
Oh.
And Xastra, there is an even more malevolent aura coming from the downstairs.
Okay, I was going to say, I think Cellar's
from down
probably...
cellar.
Yeah.
We Boston now.
We should go downstairs.
I
Should we? Yes.
And Nyara, just in case, we may find something truly terrible down there. I just want to make sure that you're aware of this, and I want to let you know that we will, of course, prioritize your safety.
So you're experienced enough to tell when people are scared. Nyara is probably worried, but it seems he has had some kind of training because he's keeping it together really well.
Nice.
This is dealing with malevolent things that can snap at any time. It's probably been part of his training.
Oh. That's very sad.
I mean, that's
Very sad,
I feel like it's a very Drow thing to have to deal with.
Necessary for an Underdark politician.
Yep. Oof.
Mhm.
All right. Yep. Down cellar we go.
Down we
You
go.
get down to the cellar doors. There's two of them because it needs to open quite large, since it's for traffic of large goods. You open it up. The downstairs is very similar to the upstairs. A large underground space. The shelving is more towards the walls, leaving a very large open space in the center. They have ice down here, which is very surprising. Ice is not something that you generally get a hold of away from a mountainous area, and their left is on the coast, so they probably had this shit somewhere. It would be worth a lot of money if you could walk away with it. But the malevolent aura continues to radiate from downstairs, from the back of the area. And you can see a couple of figures just sort of chilling and conversing in low voices. There is a sort of, I don't know what you would call it. It's not exactly a camp, but it's like some things have been set up as though someone would be holding office down here.
Oh.
And I assume that this is Flaming Fist people?
Yeah, there is a member of the Flaming Fist down here. You recognize him from earlier. It is Captain Kite.
It is
and
Captain
he's
Kite.
Speaking to a strange figure. The shadows kind of shimmer around him, obscuring most of his form. He's dressed in heavy black clothing that goes from all the way down to the floor and has a very elaborate hood.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll step up. Captain Kite, so good to see you again.
So Kite's hand goes immediately to his sword.
Yep.
And the other person puts a hand on it, stopping him. And in a voice that sounds like tombstones grating against each other, it says, "Please, there's no need for that. They are our guests."
And Myrkul, I assume?
Rushk, I have been hearing quite a lot about you lately.
My reputation precedes me. I am honored, in fact. I have heard quite a lot about you as well. Do you mind if we move this conversation to somewhere a bit more amenable to all parties? We've brought food and drink, and would like to share it with you.
Out of respect for the good people of Daggerford, you can understand why I do not particularly wish to leave this room at the moment.
I appreciate that you're showing them that much respect. I would then perhaps like to hold Congress with you here.
By all means, please. Captain, if you would be so kind to move a table over. So he invites you to sit down at weirdly one of the more awkward meetings you've had, given like everyone else you've talked to over the course of this campaign. It is one of those long tables. At the head of it sits Myrkul, and at the foot of it, which is the other position of respect, they sit Nyara. And so all of you sit along various sides of it. Kite prefers to stand near Myrkul and looks extremely displeased.
Well, Myrkul, would you like time to indulge in the cooked goods that we've brought along? I can speak to the quality of the chef. And perhaps I would like to... perhaps I should introduce you as well. This is Nyara. Nyara is the princess of... what was it?
Derelift.
Yeah, Derelift.
Myrkul inclines his head to Nyara, and Nyara is blushing a little bit because you talked up his food. So there's a little bit of silence here as you pour the wine and break the bread and pass out the skewers and things. And Myrkul does eat them. You see the contents go up to the hood and then just sort of disappear.
I was interested
don't hear
in
any
that.
chewing or anything. They're just sort of gone.
Interesting.
Seems to prefer the wine more than anything else. Gets it. He asks whoever is sitting next to him to pour it several times. So who gets to be the cup filler for Myrkul?
Ooh. One of us, or should we make Kite be the bitch boy?
Oh my god. I think it's only fair. I think you should have to do it.
I think we should have Xastra do it. I think that's the more interesting one.
Xastra
So
has
it's
to pour.
either Kite or me.
I think Xastra does it. I think Xastra is sitting to the right hand of
my God.
Myrkul and is pouring him wine whenever he asks for it.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm glad to see that you enjoy the wine. I hope I wouldn't be ruining your appetite if I began the conversation now.
By all means. This is a very exquisite... All right, somebody give me a cool name for what drow poisons are made out of.
Ooh.
Anthurium?
Anthurium?
It's a real thing, but we can say it's something else for...
Yeah, the notes of Anthurium in this wine are excellent. Can't get enough of it.
I'll turn to Nyara and give him a smile through the mask.
Nyara is beaming at you.
Oh.
Well, Myrkul, first and foremost, what has brought you to Daggerford? I can guess, but I'd like to hear it from you specifically.
Well, I know that when one of me or my brethren appears on the Sword Coast, you often take it as a sign of something big happening, and I am only here on holiday. I have no desire to get involved in anything going on.
Death takes a holiday.
This is simply indulging my curiosity. I am waiting for Captain Kite here to procure me a boat, at which point I will be sailing down to the coast to observe the spread of the rot coming from the god of death, or from the dead god, rather.
I see.
And I have no other designs.
And by your brethren, do you mean gods in a general sense?
You should know who I'm speaking of, but of course, my fellow Bones players, I believe you know this as the Dead Three.
I can't say that I'm too familiar with the other members of your group.
Really? That's a surprise.
Rushk does her best at feigning ignorance. Well, then it seems like, Captain Kite, what has taken you so long to find a boat?
As a member of the Flaming Flaming Fist mercenaries and charged with upholding the peace of civilization. I can't just take a boat whenever I feel like it.
Well, yes, but you could charter a boat, could you not? I assume that you are interested...
What do you think I've been doing? I have been locked in negotiations and bidding wars for the better part of 2 days.
And you're saying that you aren't willing to spare any expense for the god of undeath? You are making him wait so that you can hitch a more affordable ride?
Have you not seen the list of people out there? I didn't come with a war chest of gold.
Really? It seems that you have brought a number of men that might warrant a war chest.
This is this, and that is that.
Of course. Good Myrkul, would you perhaps have any idea as to why Kite has brought so many of his men here?
You're certain that there is a smile from under the hood?
Oh, great.
And Myrkul says, no, I have no idea.
Oh, great. Okay.
And he aims the smile at you in the same tone of voice of when you said, I'm sure I have no idea about the Dead Three.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Now, as it seems that Captain Kite has proven, for how long I don't know, that he is rather incompetent when it comes to finding you a ride. What say you to us finding you a ride? I'm sure that you won't be too insulted when I say that Baroness Daggerford...
Duchess Morwen Daggerford.
Excuse me. Yeah, Duchess Morwen Daggerford is interested in seeing you leave as soon as possible.
Well, that's perfectly fine. I'm interested in leaving as soon as possible as well.
Wonderful.
I don't particularly mind what boat I leave on, as I am simply a humble traveler.
I'll give a short incline of my head. And then with Myrkul gone, Captain Kite, I assume that the Flaming Fist mercenaries would no longer have a reason to be here?
He is grinding his teeth and glaring at you.
I'll let... Go ahead.
Conveniently, the Duchess has promised me a boat if we resolve the Flaming Fist mercenary situation.
Well, this seems like it wraps everything up quite nicely then.
Truly kismet.
Captain Kite, would you prefer that we inform Istval? Or what was this? It was Istval, right? The guy, like the... Yeah, would you prefer that we inform Sir Istval and the Duchess, or would you like to?
He says, no, I will make the arrangements. I
Wonderful.
think that you have meddled in enough things, Dr. Rushk.
Well, sometimes it takes a little meddling to get anything done, it seems.
It sounds like the doctor has just made it so much easier for your job to be completed here. I wouldn't call it meddling.
I thank you for your
Yeah,
help, Doctor.
Of course. Well, I believe this concludes everything quite nicely. Myrkul, it's been a pleasure. I do hope that any future disdain will be understood between the two of us. I am, after all, still a doctor.
Naturally. I shall await for our boat. I hope that we will enjoy a pleasant trip down the river together.
Oh my god.
Great.
Fine, normal, and
It's going
Xastra
to be an incredible. It's going to be an incredible trip.
Oh boy.
God.
So, I don't think it's particularly interesting to resolve the diplomatic parts of this. The Flaming Fist mercenaries say they will leave, but under a specific circumstance, they want to leave a posting to check goods coming in and out of Daggerford for a couple of days. They just want to make sure that nothing with the curse on it is being spread out of Daggerford, and that goods coming into Daggerford are not contaminated.
Sure.
The Duchess of Daggerford seems amenable to this because it will put them in an official capacity outside of Daggerford, where they can't annoy her directly or get into the farmstead. And she procures for you a very nice ship. It has enough space for you and all of your traveling companions, and also Myrkul, the god of undeath, who is, as he says,
room.
just a traveler. He doesn't have like any possessions on him. He just has like a little pack and no attendants. So whenever you load up the boat to leave, he's just chilling. He's just there. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Is that
I was just
bad?
gonna
Is that gonna
say-
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before, like when we leave, I was gonna leave ink behind over here. What exactly this man is going to say to Myrkul after all of this? If that's okay, we don't have to.
Yeah. So there's an exchange of something. Captain Kite gives something to Myrkul
Okay,
when their business is concluded.
interesting.
And you hear that Myrkul is agreeing not to get involved in Captain Kite's affairs,
Okay,
and that he hopes to hear news of an entertaining diversion while he is on vacation.
interesting. Okay, all right. I will tell my companions this as we are on our way out.
Also, is the boat gonna be all right with the god of undeath on it? Like, it's not gonna rot out from under us, is it?
I mean, if he's
No.
undead, technically he's like not causing the rot, he's stopping it, sort of. Kind of.
So, ever since the Second Sundering, the power of gods is determined by people who believe in them, or like the amount of people who believe in them. So, Myrkul causes a catastrophe by being around.
Yes.
So it's not going to directly affect your boat or anything. It's just wherever Myrkul is, things related to him or gods in his service happen. Because they need people to know that he is there for him to be there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
So as
Interesting.
Talona is the goddess of plagues, and she is in nominal service to Myrkul, having a plague show up is the easiest way for that to happen.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, the prayer you made to Talona earlier is great. None of your supplies are touched, even as you
God.
float down the river
Love to see
with
it.
the god of undeath, who is just kind of chilling and enjoying the scenery.
I can't believe that I have to be party to this.
He seems like a perfectly agreeable fellow, Xastra. I'm not sure what the issue is.
You know, he's a lot nicer than I was expecting, to be honest.
Well, he's
No,
on
I feel like-
vacation.
Yeah, he's on vacation. I feel like they get a bad rap for what they have to do. It's not their fault.
I
It's
don't know what
somebody
I'm
had to
going
do
to tell my boss.
it.
Well, you don't have to tell her anything.
I was gonna say. Technically,
He seems genuinely distressed about this.
Not technically against your oath.
Not technically.
If you were
I'm
some
not one of
other
the people
paladin,
who's
it might
about
be a big
fighting.
deal, but
Yeah, no, if I were one of the other orders of Eilistrae's knights, this would be a big problem.
it's fine. It's fine.
What is your
so-
oath exactly?
Effectively to save and redeem Drow people, to the best of my ability.
It's fine.
Okay.
This isn't affecting it at all. I don't think.
This is technically helping it. You
Yeah.
are stopping problems on your way to get down to the Underdark.
Yes.
So, you know.
He's stopping a problem.
Yep.
Love this. It's great.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good.
So, this is probably going to be an overnight boat trip because it takes a little while to get down to the coast. Like we said, it's faster than if you had to walk. But you did leave in the evening because I imagined you wanted to go as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Get
we want the
Myrkul
god
out
of
of the city and all
undeath out
that.
of there. Yeah, yeah.
So, are we sleeping on the boat? Are we staying up? What's going on? What does it look
I was-
like for all three of us on the boat here?
I was actually going to ask, like, what is it big enough that we have private rooms, or are we just kind of like cramped in there? And then Myrkul gets the one private room.
It's big enough that you could find little nooks. The thing that's like closest to an actual room is actually where they put Nyara and his bodyguards, so they chill in there.
Okay.
Myrkul does not need to sleep, and is so just hanging out on the deck looking at stuff, enjoying his vacation. So you could find a place to be vaguely private, but as far as like a room to yourself, no. There's no thing like that.
I do think at some point throughout the journey, Rushk will just disappear to somewhere as private as possible.
Oh boy.
Put up some curtains and just be away from everybody else, probably in the hold somewhere.
Yeah.
Daelia, what are you doing on this overnight boat ride?
Where is Myrkul still just giving off rancid vibes just by existing on this boat?
Yeah, but they're not so bad while you're traveling.
Okay.
Probably the aura just built up in that basement.
Interesting. Okay.
Gotta air out your deathbed.
I mean, the vibes are not so great when you're standing next to him. Like if you want to go have a conversation with him. But like it's not like it's making the boat super unpleasant. The sailors you have, operating the boat for you are not super thrilled. But they're superstitious enough that they're not saying anything.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Understandable.
Yeah.
There is a death god and a bunch of drow on their boat, and they don't know what to think about it because the Duchess of Daggerford told them it was fine.
Surely this will have no political repercussions.
No, not even a little. Goodness. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay.
I guess I don't know technically how many days has it been since
you were drained? 4, 5?
Okay.
Sorry,
So
I
we're
think it's
still doing-
sucked dry, just so we're
Sucked dry.
clear about it.
Yeah.
So I think we're technically still good on that front then. Yeah, I can't think of anything specific.
Okay.
I've got a question. Are allies able to do anything to help others with consequences?
No, it's just something that you deal with naturally. For story reasons, like if you want to say that you're like administering to Daelia and stuff, absolutely. But mechanically, no, there's nothing you're doing.
Because I'm essentially the next time we get I don't remember the second level of good thing for us to get, I will be able to get rid of it. But I have not been able to this time. Do I still have the minor consequence?
No, the minor consequence fell off forever ago.
Okay.
But that moderate consequence you'll get rid of soon.
Yes.
The thing that other players can do for you is consequence to rename it to something else.
Oh, interesting.
Reflected is being recovered.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would rename it to.
Yeah, I don't think there's much there. Yeah, dehydrated. Drink some water, Jesus.
Okay.
Cool.
So you're chilling with Ink.
Yep.
Ink is just running around the boat, looking at stuff. The sailors actually feel a little bit happier that there's a cat around. Cats on boats are good luck.
It's true.
Eat the mice.
Yeah, eat the mice. Yeah, she'd just be trancing because I guess technically high elf doesn't have to sleep.
Yeah, Ink is balancing out the vibes from having, an evil god on board. Xastra, what are you doing?
I think Xastra is also just going to get some rest.
All right, Xastra, you go to what is basically considered sleep for elves, because elves are weird and they don't need to do that.
Yep.
So you are sitting and more or less sleeping, presumably in the hold. Are you in the hold or are you up on the deck?
Just somewhere relatively private away from other people.
Okay. Probably up on the deck because then you can see the moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on the deck, you're off by yourself, you're like snuggled into your little like sleeping bag or whatever. And you're being gently rocked by the current of the river, and everything around you seems to fade away until it is just you alone sailing smoothly along the top of the water by yourself, as if drawn down some kind of Supernatural. There's got to be a better word for that. Some kind of spiritual river, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is complete darkness on all sides of you, but the moon shines very brightly in the sky. And the moonbeams come down to illuminate the water around you. And the moonbeams themselves very slowly take the shape of a familiar woman who is massive and in the background of this mindscape you've filled. A pale-skinned human woman. And in the darkness next to her, again, the same massive size, is a woman with very dark hair and a very dark affect. And they stand very silently watching you as down this current of moonbeam comes a other familiar woman, the form of the dark dancer, the dark maiden, who alights on the water next to you. And she says, Xastra, my beloved, it has been so long since I've last seen you.
It has been far too long. She will extend a hand and goddamn brain in an offer to dance.
So she takes your hand and pulls you close into a slow sort of waltz. Though there is no music, it's something that you can sort of feel inside of you. And you don't know how long this goes on, but it is very relaxing, very restful. And as you dance, she talks to you. And she says, I understand that you have gone on a very difficult and arduous journey, but one that I think will be incredibly important for our people. I am here to offer you some guidance and ask you for a favor.
Of course.
So she whispers something into your ear, and you understand that it is some kind of warning, but you don't remember the specifics of it. You just understand that when it becomes relevant, this will be a useful warning for you. And for the favor she asks you is to be kind when you discover what is going on in Dereleft.
Ooh.
Of course.
To remember your oath as a paladin, as a Silverhair Knight, because when you have the opportunity, despite the losses it may cause, she asks you to stay your blade.
I understand. I will do this.
The dance tires you out, but like in a good way, and you find yourself slowly returning to normal reality, a little bit groggy, but feeling refreshed on the deck of the boat. So light begins to break over the horizon, and your boat sails down into the mouth of the river where it pours out into the sea. And the sunlight illuminates a sparkling mass of salt. And suspended in this salt is a massive, decomposing body. You've reached the coast.
Does the body, I assume, can we identify features on it? Do our eyes just kind of glance off it?
Your eyes just kind of glance off it. You are aware that it is a body. It is a humanoid body, which could be anything, because this is Dungeons & Dragons, so anything with 2 legs and 2 arms. It is massive in size and scale, like a couple of stories tall. But there are no other defining features. You can't get a good idea of whether it's clothed or not. You don't know. There's nothing to suggest silhouette of it. It is just a featureless, massive corpse rotting in the sun. But rotting in this case refers to salt spilled from it onto the massive, kind of like an iceberg, but made out of salt that is steadily growing out of it.
Saltberg.
It has begun to back up the river a little bit and cause it to move around it. It has flooded over its normal banks. And it is definitely growing. Myrkul is at the back and has been watching it ceaselessly since it came into view. You can also see a couple of flags staked out along the shore, which are you sure people who have gotten here ahead of you to observe the corpse. So it's probably
Interesting.
academic types, mages, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that like indicates maybe cause of death at all, or no?
An enormous rending wound
Ooh,
that goes from one shoulder all the way down to the opposite hip.
Oof,
Jesus.
brutal.
I'm going to be cheeky and ask Myrkul what it looks like to him.
Nice.
Smiles back at you and he says, well, a corpse, obviously.
Obviously. Should we let you off here, or would you like us to move closer?
I understand that you have business elsewhere. I would ask that you leave the boat under my care. And if you need it when you come back, I will obviously hand it over to you so you can sail back up the river. But otherwise, I would like to continue to get some more use out of it. I would like to head out to the island of Salt.
Would it be a bad idea to shake hands with him? Like, would it kill me to touch his hand? Okay.
Not at all.
I'll tip my head towards him and say, well, it's been a pleasure, Myrkul. I wish you the best, and I'll extend my hand to shake.
Oh my god.
The sleeve of the robe comes up, and a collection of bones that looks like several arms holding a larger skeletal arm. I'll reach out from under the robes to grip your hand and give you a firm handshake. It
Sick.
feels like death. It feels like you have seen death, you have experienced death. It feels like that.
Fascinating. It should be said that Rushk always wears leather gloves. In this instance, she will be replacing the glove.
So yeah, unless you have any objections, they pull you over to the shore and unload your goods. And then the sailors have been compensated well. They have their own supplies, and they're kind of wishing that you would stay with them because now they have to play ferry for a god of death.
And no cat.
And no cat.
And no cat.
I know.
Poor guy.
They're not super happy, but
No.
also they're terrified into obedience.
At least educate them on proper, like, medical preventative medical measures and such. I'll give them a winning smile.
Oh.
This is the kind of thing where if they do a good job, though, when they die, Myrkul will put a good word into them for them to Kalimvor. So
There you go.
Yeah.
it'll be worth it eventually. Probably.
Think about it as just investing in the future.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're making a good impression on an eventual boss.
Okay. So you have all your supplies. You've been unloaded. You no longer have a horse and cart because you're going to have to go down into the Underdark. Instead, you have exchanged it for a pole cart. Somebody will have to manually move your supplies around, but there are 5 or 6 strapping young women, more or less young.
Strapping young women?
Yeah, strapping young women. Do you want to say that with more enthusiasm? You want to say it again? Strapping young women.
I'm ready to keep going. I'm ready to see these young women strapped.
Yeah.
So yeah, now begins our descent into the Underdark. The way you get down into the Underdark is, of course, through the most annoying means possible. A big hole in the ground.
You love to see it.
Of
is
course.
just a massive drop. It used to be some kind of mining shaft. It has long been disused, but it drops down into a combination of worked and unnatural tunnels. But yeah, so you set up a little rappelling station and lower
we've
yourselves.
We've got Miss Blackstaff with us, don't we?
You do have Miss Blackstaff with you.
Did she not?
Just
Yeah,
cast
so
that
just
on all of
levitate
us.
you down
very
there.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, I guess. Y'all get in the cart and just chill as she gently levitates you down into the Underdark. Look at you making fun of the fact we have an Archmage with us.
Also, before we probably get off the boat, I think Daelia would probably take Rushk and Xastra aside and just be like, as you both are aware of my other contacts that I have in the Underdark, I figured it would probably be wise to both give you both a heads up that, of course, we can probably expect to see more of the same of what we encountered when we were trying to leave with the princess. Seems like whoever is trying to do something about those at Dareleft are not abating in their efforts. So just keep an eye out for all those lovely, sneaky Drow assassin nonsense. Unfortunately.
I appreciate the heads up.
I would expect no less.
Yep.
So we've made our way into the Underdark. The Underdark is a collection of various underground biomes, which are terrifying as they are beautiful, natural caverns. Things either carved out by water or by tectonic movement. So, it ranges from extremely cold to extremely hot, just depending on where you are. Because lava flows are a thing sometimes, as just completely empty caverns. And it is not a barren wasteland. There are things that live down here. There are many different kinds of fungi, burrowing creatures, and bugs, and all sorts of other things. It is very dangerous because things that live down here live in a very harsh and hostile environment. So anything that is down here knows how to throw hands. And nowhere is this more evident than your path is blocked by a old gate of some kind. It looks like a stopover that was meant to connect the mines to the rest of the Underdark. Some kind of protective place to keep the miners safe and keep the denizens of the Underdark out. It is impossible to tell who originally owned it or how old it is, because it is in fact quite old. It is crumbling stone that more or less still works. And as you head up on it, before you are in spotting distance, you can see that it is currently occupied. There is a great burning bonfire in the center of it, and you see shapes moving around.
Oh, interesting. Is this the path that Nyara and the people took to get out of the Underdark?
They took a different path to get out of the Underdark. It was a much longer one.
Okay.
So this one is likely going to be more dangerous, but it is faster.
Okay. Yeah, I'll turn to both Daelia, Xastra, and Nyara's group and say, I defer to the experts here. Is this a friendly faction? Should we approach it?
I could always send Ink up ahead and see what we might be dealing with.
That would be appreciated.
So I'll have Ink turn invisible and sort of just have all of us be sort of out of sight and have him go ahead.
So I assume that you have some kind of ink vision. Is this something where you have a little crystal ball that you can look into, or do you just see what ink sees?
I'm pretty sure I see what ink sees. I literally just had this up. Where did it go? It is... Fuck. Sorry. I just had it.
Okay. Well, let's say that you see what ink sees. That's easier and more beneficial.
Yeah.
Before ink goes off, you see Vajra takes a little object and sort of loops it around Ink's neck. It's a little bracelet that has what looks like a very detailed metal-worked eye.
Ooh,
Just puts that right on Ink's neck. It goes invisible with Ink because it is on Ink's person. And as Ink scoots off towards this dilapidated stone structure, she works a little magic and does a little bit of an illusion spell, and she holds up her hands so you can all see the point of view from the trinket that she gave Ink. It is very low to the ground and bobbles. Imagine GoPro footage from a cat collar. So Inka's just going along and is still sneaking, despite being completely invisible, because that's just what cats do.
Yeah, it's a cat.
And Ink gets up, jumps up onto the top of the wall where part of it has fallen down, and scopes out what looks to be a camp of creatures. Roasting over this massive bonfire is a combination of meats and unidentified enormous mushrooms. And stomping about the camp, doing various tasks, are a group of minotaurs.
Oh, okay.
They are
That's
very
good, right?
big. They're very big. They have been adapted to the low light conditions, and they are quite well armed. Some of them are wearing various types of armor, pauldrons and the like, or like looped chainmail, things like that. Things that have been made for larger creatures. And they have a collection of very scary-looking weaponry. They are quite large and meant to be wielded by very strong hands.
And is there any sort of, like, signs of what their allegiances might be? Like, anything, any sort of markings on the armor, any sort of thing like that?
They don't have any flags and they don't have any markings.
Okay.
So they're probably all buds because they don't really fight with each other. Occasionally they like shove each other or like fight over who gets to sit on the comfy chair. But it doesn't look like, if there is somebody that comes in here and tells them what to do, they haven't left like visible things. Like there's no, you don't see any like drow symbols or anything like that. Like if there's somebody in charge of them, it's not obvious.
Okay. I will describe what I'm seeing to everyone. Not totally sure what exact tactic we should probably take with this. I'm not sure. It does just look like they're very they are armed to the teeth, so could go probably brute force is probably not the best way to go, I don't think.
We should probably try and talk to them.
Talking does generally tend to be alright. Oh, does it sound like they're speaking in common, undercommon, some other kind of language, or
Some kind of undercommon dialect.
okay.
So you understand most of it, but there's like slang you don't pick up on.
Okay. Cool. I don't know if anyone particularly wants to take point on this, but
Happy to do it.
Yeah, I give Xastra a look.
Right, so what's our approach? Are you making it obvious? What's going on?
What's the terrain situation like?
It is mostly even ground. You're walking on a sort of a raised area that drops off to either side into like very jagged looking rocks. If you really wanted to avoid the place, you could, but it is much more dangerous than going through a group of minotaurs.
Yeah.
So it heads up into this structure, and then this structure goes down into the Underdark. You can't see it from here, but you're sure there's some kind of staircase or elevator or something that leads further down.
Okay. So I will get a little bit away from the rest of my group and light a torch.
Okay.
Make it very obvious that I am approaching.
The torch makes it very obvious, and so you hear a very loud creak as a gate that has very much rusted shut and is operating through sheer brute force creaks open, and a couple of the Minotaur stomp out sort of angrily. They're clutching very large axes, and they shout at you. They're like, "What? Who is it? What do you want?"
Hello, friends. My companions and I would like to pass through here, and I was wondering what we need to do to make that happen.
You want to root around in our stuff? Is that it? You here to pick a fight?
No. We wish to pass through. Pass through.
Pass through, huh? No trouble?
No trouble.
So they talk to themselves. A third one comes out and has a conversation with them. How many of you are there?
Hang on. I take a mental count.
Can I do math for you?
If you could, please, that would be amazing.
So there's 3 of you. There's your 4 drow. There's Nyara.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8. And then you have Vajra and Shiria. So 10.
10 in the cart.
10. That's like a whole fighting force. So a
Come
couple
through
more
one
of
at a
them come
time.
out. and there are 5 minotaurs at the gate now. Let's have you roll your charisma. How placating are your words?
This is something I am quite good at. I'm going to roll first and then think about other things.
Okay.
So when I'm trying to come to a peaceful solution, I get a +2 to overcome with charisma.
Okay.
The charisma is 4, and I rolled another 2.
Nice.
So that is 8.
8. I didn't want to say it because you were so happy, like with your modifiers. I rolled a -4, and they don't have a high charisma score. They are Minotaur, so no. Like, you are non-threatening enough in your vibes, and you're like downplaying the strength of your group enough that they're like, yeah, okay, all right, we'll let you through, but the toll ain't cheap. If you want to use our passageway here, we're gonna need some stuff. So
what do you need?
What do you got?
I can provide food and water.
You got any shinies?
I think we could probably come up with some shinies.
Okay. What are we gonna bribe these Minotaur with?
All right. Let me go back to my group and we'll see what we got.
Okay, but don't take too long.
Yeah.
I'll know if you're planning something.
Okay, how about this? I'll motion for everyone to come over and meet them halfway so that they can see us, not necessarily
Paltry is
hear
rolling
us.
her eyes. If it was her, she would have launched an assault that would have killed all the Minotaur already.
Of course.
But she's not the one in charge of this operation.
It is technically still an option if things really truly just go upside down. But,
Right, so I'll get back to the group and be like, all right, they're going to let us through. There's a toll. They said they want shinies. Does anyone have anything that is particularly shiny?
Pull out a stethoscope.
Well, some of you have very nice clothing. You all carry very nice weapons.
I don't.
You also have various magical artifacts on your person. You could probably part with a couple of those. I know Vajra has several.
I don't think we should make her
gonna have to
anything. I don't think
turn
we should.
Vajra upside down and shake her out for change.
Not going to turn her upside down and shake her. But let's come up with some, I probably have some spare magic items. I have been an adventurer for a very long time.
What would be very funny? It'd be very funny if I just pretended to if I just made the spider that I've had in my bag, just make it look like it's made out of something fancy and just leave it with the Minotaurs instead of taking it with
would
me.
Be
oh my god,
quite funny.
It is quite well made. You could leave it with them.
Does gold count as shinies?
Gold does count as shinies. If you have money, you can pay them off.
Okay. I do have some money. If we would like to go that route, I can just give them some gold.
Gives you a look.
I had the passing thought of maybe giving them the sending stone Lero gave me.
No, don't. Poor Lero.
Oh my god.
I would not do that, but I had the passing thought.
Minotaur get iPad, but no.
Xastra intrusive thoughts.
Oh my god.
So you pull together some gold coins, some laying around magic items, a couple bracers of protection, some various rings with some magical effects. Vajra has some stuff on her that does things that is mildly magical, but not particularly
important.
Like she has an ever-burning torch, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you get all that together into like a big pile, I assume, and leave it out front for the Minotaurs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they come out in force, and they dig through the treasure pile. And they seem satisfied. This is a good haul for them. They don't have to shake you down. You can tell that they are thinking very hard about whether or not they could jump you and take the rest of your stuff. But, between 5 drow with scary-looking armor and swords, and the short one with the stick, they have learned to associate large sticks with magic users. They just let it go. They're happy with the haul they got out of you.
I will extend a hand to the one that appears to be the leader to shake and say, Pleasure
fist
doing
bumps
business
you.
with you. Good enough.
And she goes, "This is one way. All right. If you come back, you gotta pay again.
I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Hey, as long as we're clear."
Yeah.
So they have in a working operating elevator. A lot of the mechanisms have been like crushed, so there's no counterweight, which means they operate it for you. So the trip down is a little, because it is just a group of minotaur like moving a rope around a system of pulleys. But hey,
Rushk takes a pill case out of her pocket and then takes something and puts it back.
that's how they get you to pay the toll. Is you can't come up or go down without interacting with them. So
yeah, could technically come up with them, but
well, I mean, depending. So yeah, you take the elevator down, and you are in a deeper section of the Underdark. It has become much warmer and a little bit harder to breathe. You can tell, those of you who have been in the Underdark very often, which is most of you, that it comes from volcanic gases. This next part must go very close to probably where a plate is subducting. So yeah, going to be some treacherous steps.
Poisonous Underdark Hot Springs episode?
Poisonous Underdark Hot Springs episode? Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
There's thermodynamics going on under here.
Love to get skeletonized by very acidic water.
So you managed to navigate around like jagged cliffs that skirt around the side of this plate subduction, where there's like, boiling magma cascading down and what would otherwise be very cool waterfalls. It is quite warm, but it is quite illuminating, so you don't need torches or anything, which is nice for the humans among you, all 2 of them. Only people who can't fucking see in the dark.
I'm sure Vajra and I are miserable through most of this journey.
Vajra's young and spunky. She's like 10 years younger than you are,
Jesus.
And she's an archmage, so she ages more gracefully than other people do. So she's
She also has spells to see in the dark, for instance.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Rushk is the only one that looks like shit.
Yep.
Rushk is fucking miserable.
Oh no.
It is warm. Way too warm. You've been walking for way too long. The inclines suck. There are sharp rocks on the ground everywhere. I'm not having a good time. Nyara looks surprisingly more comfortable.
I don't mind.
You can cartway.
Probably me.
Probably Xastra. So you can tell that offering a seat on the cart to her is like, she really wants to say yes. She really, really wants to say yes. But you learn that she is more interested in keeping up appearances than she is in her own relief. So she does not sit on the cart.
There's a moment where you all believe you have lost Shiria, but the gentle snoring coming from the cart makes it obvious where she is.
Yep. That's
What a mood.
Understandable.
Nyara looks to be quite comfortable in the Underdark. He looks like he's enjoying familiar surroundings. So while he was having a ton of fun on the surface, he was quite nervous, but now he looks more in his element. And some of his guards have also relaxed, because the Underdark is at least a known quantity for them.
What about Taltree?
Taltree never relaxes. Taltree has never relaxed a day in her life.
I'm going to have to help her with that.
Taltree at all times has been ready to kill someone.
Oh my god.
The Taltree knows where it is at all times.
I think it is.
She knows this because she knows where it is.
I think it is pretty obvious that Xastra is also more comfortable underground.
Interesting, considering you're a moon-loving tree hugger. So, who is our scout? Who has our best eyes? Who's the one that's watching for threats?
I mean, one of the Drow for sure.
Yeah.
One of your party.
Xastra's pulling the cart, so Daelia?
True.
I guess so.
All right, Daelia, give me that wisdom check.
Oh
This is
no,
distinct
I did.
danger.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I'm whopping +1. All right.
Please.
Well.
Please, Daelia, please.
Ooh, that is a. Oh my god, I can't do math. This is fine. Jesus Christ. -3 +1. -1?
-1. Perfect.
Fine. Can
None
I
of your
wait?
party.
Wait.
Mhm.
Can
I rolled
I
this to see,
be?
and I rolled the same thing.
Can I be aided by my familiar who's walking out at like 100 yards in front of me?
Yeah, you want to spend a fate point to increase your thing, or do you want to roll again?
What did you
How much?
roll?
A -1. Or wait. Oh my god.
-3 or
Why
something, I think.
Okay. -3 +1, -2 plus the +1, so -1. God. Yeah.
You should reroll.
Just how much is it
And
if
fate point reroll.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
Generally, with the way dice work, if you get a -3 or lower, you should reroll.
Alright.
Yeah,
So does he.
statistically speaking, you can't do that bad again.
Oh yeah, significantly better. That's a +2.
There you go.
Alright.
Okay. So instead of charging headlong into danger, you are at least aware enough to avoid getting everyone completely stuck in extremely fine webbing that
Oof.
winds its way across your path.
Yikes.
You notice it until you're already in the area, but you don't, just walk into a line of it.
Okay.
You don't know when it happened, but you have somehow chanced into an area where there is just
A lot of
massive, thin, metallic-looking spider webs everywhere.
Have we tugged on any of them yet, or it's just there?
No, you managed to notice them before you started activating them.
Cool.
But they're there, and they're
Yikes.
everywhere.
Okay, well, we do have the option of just trying to burn them if we wanted to. I don't think whatever's on them would be very happy about it, but it is effective.
Based on the region that we're in, the climate, and the webbing, is it possible that one of you recognize what creature could have caused this? That might give us a better idea on how to proceed.
It's been
Any
I'm
plus
not.
3 on intelligence?
Intelligence check? Yeah, if you want to notice the webbing.
I can.
It's a
Right.
+3.
Yeah. It's up to you. I have the same, so it's up to you.
No. I rolled.
You rolled a +3?
Not a +3.
Oh, perfect. There you go. All
Okay.
right.
So with a +3, you're not quite sure what type of spider this is. But the webbing looks weird. It looks very shiny, very metallic. You don't really want to touch it, but it doesn't look like it is particularly flammable because you see it extend out across the lava flows as well.
Okay.
Do we have something small and what's the word I'm looking for? Something like fruit that is topped but can be cut into?
Yeah.
Can I take one of the fruits that we have and underhand lob it at some of the webbing just a bit away?
Are we sure we want to do that just yet?
I'll stop. Well, I'm open to suggestions.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything particularly that much better, but, just if there's anything we could do before immediately calling down whatever has woven this horrible thing.
I'll look at Nyara's guards.
They look back at you.
Y'all are from around here, come on!
We should probably try to avoid touching the webs if we can,
Yeah.
but I don't like the look of them.
Yes, and that's exactly why I was trying to learn a bit more about them.
Throw that fruit. Throw that fruit.
Yeah, if nobody says anything, Rushk is just gonna
Wait, okay. I have one idea.
Stops for the second time.
I'm sorry. Okay, so would it be possible to Mission Impossible technically fly through these if we were floating to not touch things? Would that be possible or no?
I mean, you do have the magical ability to give people flight, but you're going to require the same amount of dexterity.
Okay.
And the cart.
as you would if you were just walking.
Oh, right, and the cart, right.
And
Okay.
Shirya's asleep.
And Shirya is asleep.
That's true. So then then I think if we're going to throw something into this web, I think maybe perhaps the best idea is perhaps triggering it far away from where we are so that maybe we could get an idea of what's going to be coming without it seeing us necessarily.
I think you should throw it out in the webbing that you can see going out across the magma flows.
Yes, that was the idea. Which of us has the best pitching hand?
My dexterity is a +2.
My dexterity is +3.
Rochambeau? I set aside the fruit and hold out my hands to Xastra.
Okay, let me go to the Discord and hang on.
Does
You're
Discord have
literally
a built-in
playing-
rock, paper, scissors fit?
Literally playing rock, paper, scissors in Discord.
I
Is that a
I don't
thing?
know if Discord has built-in rock paper scissors, but I have typed my selection and I'm ready to hit
Okay.
enter whenever you say go.
All right.
You typed
I
your
cheat.
selection? Okay.
I got a +3 to my dexterity, so that's a 6.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
Okay. So are you throwing the fruit then?
Yes, I am throwing the fruit.
So it hits a group of webbing. The webbing doesn't completely slice it open, but it does seem to go in and stick.
Yep.
Like if you hit something with a piano wire, but like,
Yep.
it cuts into it a little bit and holds it.
Mm.
Yep.
And out of the magma flow
Oh,
comes
oh,
the
no.
strongest
Magma.
fucking thing you've ever seen. It is a giant, like warhorse-sized spider made out of some horrific combination of
Oh my God.
metallic chitin and obsidian.
Oh,
Gets up on its
Fine.
webs and begins vigorously attacking the fruit.
oh wow.
It is gone in seconds.
Oh, but
Turn
it's
back. Go ahead.
but it's blind then, because if it did not necessarily see us, I
It
guess.
skitters around on its web a little bit. It is pulling on the strings, you can see.
Okay.
And then when
Fixing.
it doesn't get any response, it just sinks back under the surface of the flowing lava.
Okay.
So having seen one of the most nightmarish things that I've seen in a while, I will turn back to Nyara's guards and look at them.
Taltree helpfully suggests that maybe you shouldn't touch the webbing.
Yes, I was just hoping that having now seen it, you might have...
An idea of what it is, perhaps?
Yes. That seems like a rather significant creature that...
Could be nearby your city.
They have never seen this type of spider before,
Oh,
but
God.
like with the circumstances of how Derelef left and then came back to Toril, it could be anything. It could have been from where they used to be. It could have been here all along. Who knows?
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
So it came out of the magma, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Horrifying.
Is the magma on multiple sides of us or just one side of us?
Multiple sides for the most part. Like you're along a cliff face on one side, right, and the magma is on the other, flowing down the other. What would be a cliff face, but there are parts where there's like bridges you have to go across because the magma cuts in channels that go through where you're trying to go. So you can walk over those, right? But it does go underneath you and sometimes pools on the other side of you. And the webbing goes everywhere. It's not just over the magma. Like it extends upwards and downwards and to either side. So there's not a way to like, oh, we'll just take the path that's not covered in spider webs. That's not an option.
My thought is that if this creature seems to hide in the magma, is it possible to cut a path through the spider webs that render its approach across the webs impossible? Does that make sense?
So if you were to cut down the spider webs, is that what you're suggesting?
Cut down the spider webs between us and where it comes from, yes. So that there's no bridge for it.
If you did that, it could still just climb the rock wall.
Could we freeze the magma? Like freeze it in the magma?
I'll turn to Laeral. Or fucking Vajra, excuse me.
So it's either that
Vajra
or
shrugs.
the only thing I could think of also was technically gaseous form, but that's like a one-person thing. So not as helpful.
Yeah, some of you have abilities that could obviate this for you.
Yup.
Yeah.
You
Not
do
a
have to get
group
the
of 10
entire party
people.
and the cart.
Yeah.
I think we just be very careful.
But with the cart, though,
And
the
if we
cart
have
is
to
the
fight
problem.
it, we have to fight it.
I don't
that's
think
true.
we could slip through, each of us slipping through the webbing, but the carts are not particularly dexterous. How do you
I
propose
do
that
have
we get that?
okay. One other option. Charm monster.
You've had that this whole time?
Charm monster, I
just
believe, only
looking
works
through my
on things
list
that can
of things.
understand, like that you could theoretically communicate with. I don't know that it would work on a.
Charm a creature you see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. Does with advantage if you're fighting. I don't think it says anything that you can see it. I don't think it says
dominate
anything
monster.
here.
Yeah, if you want to try dominate monster, that's a possibility, assuming there is only
Okay.
one of them.
I
Otherwise, whoever is moving the cart, I say, will probably make the checks for everybody.
Okay.
So this is going to be a 4 o'clock thing. Every successful check gets you one way more through the thing. Otherwise, if you fail, it alerts the spiders. So whoever's pulling the cart, you get to use your dexterity, but because of the cart, you get a -2.
Oof.
And you need to beat a 4 every time you move forward.
I have one more suggestion. Are there any other signs of wildlife nearby? Like, I don't know what the fuck kind of shit roves around down here, but clearly it's set up for something, right? Like, I don't know what it usually eats. Is it like bigger bugs? Is it like 4-legged things? Whatever it eats, is that around here? Could we catch one and toss it into the web as a distraction to buy a little extra time while we're getting the cart through?
You're a group of 10 people with a cart. If there is some kind of animal it preys on, you have probably already spooked it.
Damn it. All right. Well, Xastra, good luck.
Okay.
All right. I guess I will have the spell ready for whenever this thing tries to come out.
Okay, hang on. Let me look at spells that I am able to cast.
Just make the dexterity checks, god damn it.
I just want to see if I have something that helps with dexterity. All right. Well, fuck it.
Giant magma spider is scary. I'm sure you can
Yeah,
understand
it's
our
very
hesitation.
scary. It's very scary.
So my dexterity is 3.
Yep.
So we're at a
-2
plus
for the
one.
cart.
-2 because of the cart, and another -1 because that's what I rolled.
No.
Sorry, why did you roll a -1?
0.
All right. So it's a 0. You need a 4.
No.
So we've got 2 clocks, 2 4 clocks, one for the spiders, one for you, because you're being
Spiders.
extremely whichever one you feel fill first is the problem. So we're gonna give one of the spiders 0 to you.
All right. I would like to create an advantage using charisma to cast
There
Bless
you
on
go.
myself.
I was gonna say you're gonna get Shirya to use guidance on you. Yeah, okay. Let's have you roll your charisma. I don't want you to completely obviate the challenge. So let's say you got to beat a 6, and then I'll let you have a less that would help you through this.
All right. My charisma is +4. I rolled a 2. So
Okay.
that's 6.
So you create an advantage. You can invoke it once for free that you are blessed, and then you can invoke it whenever you want for fate points. For the fate point cost.
Okay. Jesus fucking Christ, this character sheets. It's the only one I can find with editable approaches. Okay. I'm going to attempt this again with my dexterity.
I believe in you.
All
Do
right.
not fuck up.
My dexterity is 1. I rolled +2. Use that free invocation on Blessed for another +2.
Okay, so what's your
We
total?
have a 5.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, yeah, that'll get you one more segment through this nonsense as you have The other drow help you turn and lift and move the cart in various ways. The other characters are doing their best not to step on things, or are stepping around things, or are limboing under stuff. Vajra is very short, so she is not bothered by a lot of this, although the staff does get in the way sometimes. And so you're about a quarter of the way through this. Let's see your next roll.
Let's see Paul Allen's roll.
Okay, that's a 2
Plus
Total?
Plus
total.
what, Winter?
It's a 1 plus 1.
Okay. Do you want to accept that failure, or do you want to spend a fate point to activate Bless again? Or to gain the benefit of Bless, rather.
Spend a fate point. Gain the benefit of blessed again.
Okay.
Does anyone else have good charisma? Or not charisma,
Yes.
dexterity?
I was going to say, I'm charisma, and I have a +2.
You are the best person to move this cart. I am so sorry, Xastra. This is all on you. So as you're moving the cart, you hear a high-pitched screech.
Oh, God.
You hear a series of them timed out at various intervals,
Oh.
and a massive bat-like creature comes flying down the halls past you. You all duck at once. It hits the webbing. It slices one of its wings off. It gets stuck. And again, you see the horrific sight of this creature coming out of the magma to just begin devouring this poor winged creature. It's scary and disgusting and exceedingly violent. And you are only half the way through getting through these webs. Let's see some more dexterity checks.
Okay, sorry, I have one more question.
Okay.
Would I be able to, like, create some sort of advantage by, like, dropping stuff in other places on the web to, like, distract it? Maybe?
Yeah, you could try that.
Okay.
I rolled a created advantage.
All right.
If you beat a 6 on whatever it is you're trying, I assume wisdom, probably?
Oh. Would it be charisma because I'm casting something?
I'm not buying it. This sounds like wisdom on to know where to put whatever it is you're casting.
What about
I don't think it's your ability
intelligence?
to
What
do
about
the spell.
intelligence to know where I'm putting it?
Intelligence? All right, I'll let you use intelligence. That'll be
Thank
nice to you.
Well, that is a +3 total.
+3 total? No, you need a 6. This is scary
Okay.
shit.
All right. I tried.
Okay, that's a -1.
-1. Good job. I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
So, with Daelia's meddling and you trying to move the cart, you do cause a vibration through the webbing. One of them comes up out of the lava and is on the webbing now. It is.
Oh, God.
It is. You can see it looking around, testing things, and it doesn't slide back down. It thinks it might have a meal nearby somewhere. It's not going to move because it is technically an ambush predator. But yeah, it is massive, and it looks like it's basically has swords for legs.
No.
It is not something you want to get near. And again, we are only halfway through this.
Oh,
Now I
boy.
create an advantage by using myself to draw the creature away.
Oh my god.
Sure, that sounds great. And since it's dangerous, I'll let you try it at a difficulty of 4.
Oh my god.
Great, thanks. I put a hand on Xastra's shoulder and say, go as fast as you can. And then step back and make towards the other spider. And I
Oh, boy.
whack the fucking webbing with, like, I don't know, a fucking stick and slice the stick in half.
Okay.
What would I be rolling? I assume dexterity
I
or
assume
some shit
dexterity. Yeah.
to be running fucking fast. I'm not the person. I shouldn't be having to run fast. Rushk does not like running.
Yeah. So roll your dexterity. What do you get?
I rolled a -1 plus 3. And I'm going to spend a fate point. So I don't get fucking magma spidered.
Oh my god.
Okay. What is the aspect that is keeping us from getting magma spidered?
The aspect that's keeping us from getting magma spidered is carrot and stick. Sometimes we must apply the principle to ourselves.
Okay. All right. So I will let you create the aspect 1 for evocation. Rushk's distraction. So the one that's already on the webs doesn't move. There's actually a second, even bigger one.
No.
Good.
That comes out
Good.
near you, and he begins tearing down the webs towards your position as you
Jesus
are fucking booking it away
Christ.
from the party. Would you like a fate point?
I would love a fate point, dear.
If I'm going to call on your trouble aspect, what is it, hemlock veins, snake blood?
Yes. Hemlock
The
veins.
exertion is extremely painful because it's hot down here and you've been walking for a long goddamn time.
Yep.
If you enter combat with this spider on your own, I'll let you have a fate point.
A second fate point? Or that's the fate point?
That's the fate point.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll keep the spider's attention on me.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and fucking matador this shit.
Nice.
Okay. So Rushk is matadoring the spider. So let's go back to Xastra trying to move the cart, and then we will go to Rushk's distraction, which will be a very similar contest.
All right. So I have rolled a total of 3.
Okay.
I will use that free invocation on Rushk's distraction.
Okay. You're 3/4 of the way through this.
Oh boy.
Rushk, there is a spider bearing down on you. It wants to eat you so bad. How are you getting yourself out of this?
It's just for like my own imagination. What's the size of this thing? Like a fucking like a Jeep or something? Bigger than a Jeep?
Bigger than a Jeep? It's like it's like an F-150, like not the extended cab or nothing. It's like an American truck.
Like a moose.
Yeah, it's like a moose if the moose was made out of swords and was also a spider.
Great. Okay. I don't have a weapon. As just, aside. I
Right.
do have my fucking like trunk of doctor shit that I bring with me. Does it seem to be staying primarily on the webs, or is it venturing beyond the webs to
Mostly on the
Get
beds.
me.
It seems to have quite good mobility on the webs, and also you saw how it hunts. Something gets stuck on the web, and then it immediately just pops up and goes to
just
town.
fucking eviscerates it?
Mhm.
Okay. Does its body appear to be superheated at all?
I mean, it was in the magma, and it does seem to be made out of some vague metal amorphous rock combination.
Are its eyes like filled with vitreous fluid? Are they normal, some sort of normal eyes? Like
For spiders, they look vaguely normal.
Okay, yeah, I'm fishing for somewhere soft on the spider.
Yeah, if you were going to do something to it to give you an advantage, it would probably be the eyes, because they are large enough you can see them, because again, this is a very big spider.
Great. I'm going to spend a fate point to declare that
Mhm.
there is a sharp rock nearby.
Okay.
Let me just do that really quick. And I assume that is not a stretch of the imagination. We are in a lava field in the Underdark. And then I'm going to attempt to bait a leap from the spider and clamber on top and try and stab the rock into one of its fucking eyes.
Okay, that
We'll see how
sounds
good
like
that goes.
its dexterity versus your dexterity.
Yes, it does. Please, God, don't be like 8 million dexterity.
All right, I get a 3.
Okay, I get a 4. I got a 1 plus 3.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, it barrels down the webbing, and with delicate timing, you move around its legs and get on top of its body. It is very warm. You regret this almost immediately.
Yup.
It's not like as warm as touching lava itself directly. It has some kind of thing it's doing that is
Insulated.
insulating its body, but it is not
Yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, the soles of my shoes are going to need resoling, basically.
Yeah, so you get it in the eye and then probably just pop off it immediately. It is angry. It begins like chittering and like smashing its legs everywhere. And in response to that, several more begin to slowly clamber out of it
Oh
and begin testing the webbing.
no!
Oh,
Xastra, how are those dexterity checks going?
You're another +3 total.
come
I'm
on.
going to spend my last phase point, 8 point. So we are
Alright.
through. I am
So,
out of fate points.
so Rushk, you are currently locked in a struggle with this spider, but you do have a get out of jail free card. You notice that the party has made it to the other side of the field of webbing.
Okay, just contemplating if I wanted more fate points, but I think I'll leave it there. I've milked it enough. Yeah. I'm going to use Weave of Black Hair to obviate all of the webbing and be on the other side of it.
You melt into the numerous shadows of the Underdark and come out right back near the party like there is no problem. All of you can hear the angry, horrific, metallic chittering of the spiders as they search their domain for the intruder that blinded one of them.
Rushk looks even more miserable than before.
Okay. I think that is a good stopping point for now. We've managed to get past 2 obstacles. I'm sure there's not horrible things waiting for us in the future. Definitely not some dungeon delving, because this is, in fact, Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah. We will see you all next week for episode 7. And eventually we will get to Derelict, and we will get to see what the Femboy City looked like. So thank you all for being here today.
Yay!
See you
I
next
hope there's
time.
no spiders.
No spiders.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. And now we tell Eilistraee to go fuck himself.